Got her. While the headlines today may read that Jonathan Major's motion to dismiss the case was denied, this woman, whose name is Stephanie, has been brought in around 8 o'clock p.m. She left. I got this information from none other than the messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It says, Jonathan Majors, accuser, voluntarily reports to the police department charged with domestic assault. It's an exclusive. The Marvel actor leveled a counterclaim against Steph, who accused him of domestic violence in March. So when they say that this is an exclusive, we all know what that means because this is a good. I mean, from the two times I visited this website yesterday and today, we know that these are some credible people where they go and they do the work, and they search for the who was hurt from the. I'm trying to just rhyme now. They just searched for the DCPI, the Deputy Commissioner Police Investigator, something like that. But they spoke firsthand and they got their information yesterday, and they're doing it again this time around too. Let's keep reading from the messenger. Stephanie, the woman who accused Jonathan of domestic, she was reported into the New York Police's 10th precinct on Wednesday. They even know which precinct, see? And she's been charged with third-degree domestic assault. It's a misdemeanor. To understand what's going on, Zangbeto, I'm going to act like I don't know how to say your name, just like Pam Entertainment TV, another YouTuber who live streamed about this earlier today. I'm going to, what was the point I was on? Yes, it's a domestic degree of, it's a third-degree assault. If you ever went, oh no, okay, well, Jonathan was charged. People who get charged, they don't get charged for nothing, huh? If you ever thought that way, things are even. They've evened the score. Everyone. This woman has been charged. Jonathan has been charged. Even. So now when we can do that, now let's ask ourselves, if you were a little bit like a hating, thinking Jonathan did it, oh, nerd man. If Jonathan Majors don't give you an interview, he's a straight punk, in my opinion. You're going to town for your boy. He's our boy. It was your people, eh? Your lot have been hurting him. What's the matter? Nerd man, why don't I not have you? Why are you not joining me here? I'm gonna put this link right in the comment section for Nerdman because I need you Hot Takes Tuesdays. Remember when we were covering this thing back in March? I wonder if he did it. Remember all that? And now here we are, months later. We know that he was the guy who dialed 911 because she was going to attempt. I shouldn't say the word, but it starts with an S. It rhymes with ride. She was gonna do that. He calls 911, and after that, the police come. They finagle a way to get her to say that he strangled the woman. They coerced this entire situation. And when the legal people, the DA, judge, when all these other people had a chance to do the right thing and say, oh, ooh, the police body camera shows that there's actually nothing going on. I got you. Thanks. Let me remove that comment then. There's nothing going on. We got nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to not pursue this. When they had the chance to do it, they said, no. What happened 11 hours earlier, huh? How unfair is that? But imagine that happened to you, where you dial 911 for somebody who was looking rough, right? And you do that, and instead they file through your history, going to a London medical report from 2022 and trying to weaponize that against you, when all you did was say, hey, 911, I wasn't even asking for the police. I just needed her to get medical attention. And that's what's happening here. Just to put it into perspective of how unfair this is. I was reading an article. Let me not get off track more than I already have. The movement coach, that would be Stephanie, she entered the building at 5:47 Eastern Standard Time, which was roughly 3 hours ago from when I began this, with her attorney, Ross Kramer, and the messenger can confirm she exited shortly after 8 p.m. So about 2 hours and 13 minutes of hell. A trial date is set for November 29. It was set earlier on Wednesday, following the news. Wait. It's set. What was set way earlier on Wednesday? On Wednesday morning, we already knew this information. So basically, Stephanie gets that, probably goes out to lunch, chills, does a couple of things, takes care of a few matters, and runs a few errands. And we know that the New York City's budget is paying for her accommodations while she is making her beautiful stay here in New York. She sightseed. I want to see the photos she took at Statue of Liberty. Ah, I'm just a hater now, but it is what it is. So those accusers were straight racist. I mean, everything was been racial from the beginning. When those accusers, which accusers? Was it the 40 anonymous ones? Or was it A.B. Allen and Tim Nikolai who tweeted out some stuff? Yeah, they were saying stuff like he's so intimidating. And, we heard that he was abusive. Oh, by the way, let me backtrack. Not physically abusive. I didn't know about that. I didn't know he had that in him. And remember when A.B. Allen said that? And A.B. Allen made his account private when he said that. But the thing is, like, everyone was going off of what he said when his account was public and making the rounds. But for like that whole weekend, he just kept things hush hush. That was nuts. The 40 Anonymous, yeah, the Rolling Stones thing. Alleged, anonymous, like you can say anything with that. You're completely protected. And as Pam Entertainment TV would tell you guys, definitely check out this YouTuber. That publication, Rolling Stones, Variety, they're under the same kind of umbrella, so they're going to lean the same direction in their coverage. A very anti-black one. You know the guys days later who jumped on the bandwagon straight racist if this turns out to be bullshit. Yeah, man. And then there's people doing coverage who don't want to admit that this is a racial thing. They'll say things like they played the race card, and if you don't see it, you don't see it. It's fine. It really is fine. It says that we look forward to presenting our case at the trial, a DA spokesperson. A law enforcement official previously told The Messenger that McMahon, who was previously out of the country, was issued a desk appearance ticket, which police issued to require a suspect to appear in court to answer charges. That's significant because what we wouldn't want is for Stephanie to be at the airport landing and boom, there she is, gets arrested and she gets booked and they have to do the whole procedures. But she's got court at 8 o'clock. Like, so the desk ticket was the best possible option for this woman to attend court, do all her legal stuff, but also, all right, I guess I got to get these charges. I'll show up. So it makes things smoother for the prosecution side. I'm really not that mad at that. Like, let's solve one case at a time, and that's fine. I know, right? Surprise, right? But no, it's just a fair thing to say and to happen. Majors filed a domestic violence complaint against her back in June, and she hasn't returned to the country since. Now, as I was discussing this with Tina back in that video that I did when we were looking over the footage, as I was saying that she was been visiting America, visiting the United Kingdom, because after she leaves on March 25th and she takes his Rolex and steals and robs him, which why is that not a charge? Eh? Why didn't that charge stick? That's like theft, shoplifting. What's the word? She did something wrong, but she took her items and went over to jolly old England, right? It's to my understanding that she did return and she was back in the country on May 9th. Now, I was looking and going through it, and Tina, her YouTube channel is She Dreads Me, dreads with the letter Z. So She Dreads Me was just like fact checking me on the spot and told me, no, that's not the case. We have no idea how long she's been in England, if she's ever returned since March 25. There's really no evidence. We know that on May 9th, her words were used, like her account, her telling of the story was happened. That's what we know. I wonder if those 40 people will ever show up in court. They will not, Zhang Beito. They will not. It says, claim after she accused the star of DV in March upon his initial arrest. Stephanie McMahon accused Jonathan of hitting her in the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear. Remember this laceration stuff, okay? Because she says the laceration twice. Then she alleged in her complaint to the police that Majors grabbed her hand, causing swelling, bruising, and substantial pain to her finger, but not that substantial. She could still go to the club. And that he put his hand on her neck, causing bruising and substantial pain. The substantial pain thing. They said that an open hand caused the right ear laceration, and then we do have footage right after that there wasn't a laceration behind the ear. But if that's the case, don't also say that he picked you up and threw you into the car, and which he says he did. He says that he, as she left going into the open traffic, he's trying to make it sound like it was a nice thing to do to return her back in her wild, erratic state. And that's, I mean, if he did that, and it's the way she made it sound like it was like with no care, and he threw her into that plush Cadillac Escalade. Even then, I go, Yeah, but like you were going after phone scratching him. I saw the marks. That's a very reasonable response. That's an acceptable amount of um, care or service. I don't look at it as this criminal thing that we're still here 150 days later, 60 days later without a resolved case. I don't know, but I'm also not a racist jury member who's been watching the 6 o'clock news and forming in my brain an understanding of that's what the victims look like and that's what the aggressors are. I don't have that in my head. Last of my kin, Gemini King, he says. Mm. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the pound. Like that took a lot, right? He had to find one emoji, then he found the other emoji and he did that. If he really loved me, he would have like the bang, the explosion right in the middle, and I would have done this aggressively, the same way that Jonathan open hand. No, okay, but he lacerated her ear there. Then in the video that I did yesterday, remember when I was reading what Variety said? Lacerated with an open hand, but also when he threw her back into the back seat of that Cadillac Escalade service. He lacerated her ear again. It was a double laceration. This Jonathan Majors guy, you think of him? No need to ask. He's a ear lacerator. Ear lacerator. Broken nose, LA to Chicago. I do not deserve 3,000 subscribers. So the ear laceration thing is kind of going to get embellished. That was the Messenger's article. Now, there's two stories that are coming out today. The hot one from the narrative of the people of Colorless is that Jonathan Majors' motion to dismiss was not accepted. Michael Gaffey denied that. And you know what else he's trying to do? Jonathan Majors is trying to have all of this evidence be private and secret and have like a non-disclosure of what happens. If you ask me, as a celebrity, that just makes sense. If you also ask me, if he does have a video of him looking bad or putting hands, even if it's a justified level of physical contact, that's just, you don't need that in your career, because there are going to be people saying, aha, well, he may have won this case, but we all got to see what he did in that video. Maybe at 11 o'clock when he returns back to his home, he's still drunk or he's hungover and he's a poor representation of himself. Maybe he doesn't want the footage of his home from the police body camera in his home, that he doesn't want that being released. Like, that's my home, that's where I live. I can't let people know about this big painting that I have of Marilyn Monroe. I don't know. I mean, it's a bad look. Like, there may be things he wanted to keep private, being a celebrity. That just makes sense to me. Whatever the bad look is that he's trying to protect himself from, I understand. As well as, will it sway the jury? Because even with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, you have to admit that the public, which the jury is a part of, they've all got one of these things, these phones. And this could influence what they're seeing. And if they see memes about how Amber turd and they see memes and jokes about that, it's going to influence the jury. The jury are going to be flawed. So I do understand why Jonathan Majors' side, for many reasons, would want all of the expulsatory evidence, if I use the word right, to be hush-hush. So that makes sense to me. That's going to be the news story about how this guy's trying to keep things under wraps, isn't he? Celebrity. It makes sense. As opposed to, this woman was charged. Something that we've been trying to get happening since June finally happened today in October. Court date's going to come in November, and it's not going to be televised, to my understanding. There's going to be very private coverage of it. So whatever happens from day to day, how many every days it takes for this misdemeanor case, it will be open and shut and finished. Unfortunately, the Loki TV series is happening right now. We have episode 4 tomorrow, and then 2 weeks from now, it'll be completed. And we still will not have a resolution of Jonathan Majors' assault case. But they're also not filming anything because of the actors' strike. There's so much things that Jonathan Majors can't be part of. He can't be on his red carpet for no magazine dreams because of the actors' strike. He can't really promote. He's stuck. He's in a vacuum. Thankfully, the rest of Hollywood is also just kind of stuck in this unable to perform, unable to not perform, but like promote. But it still hurts Jonathan Majors to still be in this water, these hot waters, while Variety is going to try their best. We have a source close to the case that Jonathan attempted to take the stand, but said this instead of that. Jonathan, da da da. The woman who still has a protective order against Jonathan where he needs to keep a distance, the woman said this, and she cried in court. They're going to try every little thing, bro. There's going to be footage of Jonathan walking out of the courtroom, and that's going to make the rounds to make him look bad. I mean, you can't look that bad when you're Megan Good's boyfriend, the Mrs. Megan Good. You remember that story? Like a couple weeks ago, he was like on the microphone at a private function, and he said, "Thank you for the Mrs." because she just handed off the microphone, and they went, "Mrs. That means that he's married. That's because that's what that word means." Kind of, it does grammatically, but he was also just saying something nice. He was just saying something nice. That's how I view it. I don't think they're actually married. No matter how many people in their reporting put hyphens next to Megan Good hyphen majors. That's just the tea, though. That's just the sloppy. The tea, the goods, the inside stuff. If you ask me, whatever, don't really matter. I got Onzo from Big Ford Entertainment, who's got a YouTube stream that's gonna start pretty soon. I'm gonna refresh the page. Is he started yet? No, he hasn't started yet. He's gonna start in like 7 minutes, and I'm gonna stream redirect to that. If anyone has questions or want to have fun or talk about this Jonathan Majors case, let's talk about it. There's 10 of you watching the live stream right now. Thank you. Let me know what you think about this entire case. Let me know about the coverage. Let me know about what you noticed, because my biggest notice is the Variety articles, Rolling Stones, the people who cover this stuff and their unfairness. And it's almost like they got this vendetta against him, or this need to be correct. I think it's coming from a nice place of women have been historically mistreated, and we need to stand up for them when they are, rather than allow for the due process and keep things fair. No. While we're going to strike while the iron's hot and make it very clear that this is the wrong thing to do, and men who do this to women are all right. That is fine to say, and it's absolutely okay to do when you have evidence to confirm. But so far, the only evidence we have is none to say that Jonathan did this stuff, right? He says in the Insider article, what we all read and I covered, that in that car in the back seat, he takes her back inside. If that putting hands on that woman after she was on the street and he put her back in the car, if that's enough to be criminal, then like, what are you going off of? Because we know she goes to the club. We've seen video footage 8 minutes afterwards of when this incident was supposed to happen, where they had a whole ass wrestling match where in the back seat he gives it an open palm slap because she said that your acting is fake. Somebody understands that reference. I hope. Boom, open palm slap, tugs her, puts her fireman's carry, gives the attitude of the Death Valley driver, I should say. Boom, and she still was getting up. I'm like, what? And she got out the ring. I mean, she got out the car, and then that's where it dropped the elbow over the Spanish announce table. Boom, took her inside, kicked out. Oh my God! As she was getting up, he looked over to the side. He said, "I'm sorry. I love you." Super kicked the jaw off, and then she just retired. That's what happened in the fight. Here's the video I was looking up for, right here. As he was just walking right past. This is 8 minutes after this whole wrestling match happened, where she's like, "Hey, where's my wallet, my purse? It's inside of the back of the car. Why don't you, Jonathan?" And he just kind of just walks right off of that. There's no finger swelling. If you watch that full video, the ear isn't lacerated or it's not bleeding. And she doesn't go to these people if you watch the whole 4-minute video. She never starts the conversation with, "Hey, people, I've just gotten beat. I need help. Give me medical attention. Jonathan put hands on me." Never do they say that. She's just more like sad and wailing because, oh, okay, somebody sent a text message to Jonathan Majors and it was like, oh, how you're all being kissed up on. And she was more so emotionally hurt. And she never once mentions any sort of physical violence towards. No, there's no mention of anything physical until she starts texting 8 hours later. And she's texting her friend, "Yo, how the hell did I get this injury?" That's the first time that it comes up. Jonathan didn't do it. She also goes to the club. Here she is at the club. There's a video of her with her girl Chloe that she just met earlier in the video, earlier from that day. She's okay using her fingers. There's no evidence to plant injury that Jonathan put on her. Did he twist her hand? That's the thing. Like when she says it was substantial pain, we don't have a pain meter. Cameras can't show that, or no witness can say that she wasn't in pain, because the pain is a self-felt experience, and that's that. Now, racism is amazing because she is of the variety that she is. There's a chance she'll be more believed, or there's a more sympathy to her cause. And because if he is what he is, there's a chance there's aggression and added reason to find guilt. This is the thing. It's like that melanin thing people have because their ancestors were around a place that was very sunny for long periods of time throughout the year. That's the thing. It makes their skin darker, right? Now that's a genetic trait that is generationally passed to the next and the next and the next. Now with that comes traumatic bullshit that unfortunately Jonathan Majors is going to have to deal with here, judging by how they didn't dismiss the case when they saw the police body camera footage of the cops at his home asking 19 times between the cops and the medics, 19 times what happened, and her saying, I don't know. And then finally they coerced her to say that I was in a match with The Undertaker. He took me to the top, old school with the choke. That wasn't all, he got me with the tombstone pile driver as well. It was crazy. I'm sure he was tombstone. In the comments, somebody says, that is not her name, CJ. Her name is Stephanie McMahon. Hasn't been charged. Updated info is out there, folks. Why would you say something like that? When I started the video, I said this, and I shared this screen from the messenger, and it says, Stephanie has been charged with third-degree assault, a misdemeanor. So you are lying? Why would you say that? No, CJ though, why would you come to the channel and say something that isn't true? Like you're running defense on white supremacy is what it looks like you're doing. I'm awaiting for your response, CJ. Please, if you're still here, because you wrote that message 3 minutes ago, you may just be stream hopping, going to other people and saying some lies like that. But why did you say a lie like that? Maybe you see, if maybe people like CJ are only watching the variety and that kind of coverage, they'll have a view of what's going on. But because they aren't seeing the outlets that the defense team from Majors is going to, Insider, sometimes it's TMZ, you know what I mean? K-Dot says he's coming. Okay, cool. I'm not going to end the stream yet. I got some time. After this, we're going to redirect to Big Afford Entertainment because he's definitely covering this topic as well. Where are we right now with this? Coverage. Jonathan's innocent. What the headlines are going to be. I'm still waiting on CJ because that's my CJ who lied and says that she hasn't been charged. She's been charged. Do you mean to say that the district attorney isn't going to pursue and follow up? Is that what you mean to say? So maybe the word isn't charged, but maybe there's some wordplay happening. What she did, the police, they have enough evidence to do their due diligence. Now, what happens over on the legal end, that's fine. What the people want to do is fine. I also believe, though, that it's enough for Jonathan Majors to be the one charging. Because remember how when it first happened, she pulled her statements twice. She recanted it twice. And she wasn't trying to pursue, but it was a district attorney who was like, no, we're going to pursue this case. It's the DA, the people of the Manhattan district versus Jonathan Majors, not Stephanie versus Jonathan. Well, I'm just saying, like, right now, sure, the DA isn't going to try to pursue Stephanie, but Jonathan is going to be the one taking her to court and following the entire thing through. Wouldn't that be him? As I wait, CJ, you still have not wrote anything. So like your cat, I'm looking at you also the same way in your emoji, like in your avatar. That's just that. Why does anyone think that CJ wrote what he wrote? Because it was a complete lie. Why would you say something like that, CJ? That's what we're fighting against, though. That's this huge narrative. That's why it's important for us to get our voices out there in our independent spaces. While we may be small and not have huge followings, we are still people who have more validity than, because we're friends. The people who do follow us will believe anything we say before they believe something like the New York Times, the CNN, these guys say that, or TMZ says that. Well, if it's coming from my actual friend who I know, I'll probably have a better chance believing that than the other stuff. So yeah, send your link these the messenger, insider, whoever's reporting on the news, whoever's got the skinny, got the exclusive, and actually did the journalism to find out what happened. Do that. Now, I'm going to leave the messenger and I'm going to go straight to insider because I'm sure that there was something that they posted. Insider Laura Italiano. Let's see what she wrote. 7 hours ago. There we go. Let me read the headline. He loses his motion to dismiss his domestic violence case. His trial set for November. I'm reading this for the first time, so sorry if it's not going to be like an entertaining read, but that's just the way it is. I could do this with myself. I got K Dot who just joined the stream. What's going on, K Dot?
Yo.
It's not the best screen, but it is what it is. I'll read.
Is this new?
This new setup? Yeah.
No, like this feature.
No, you can customize it on StreamYard.
Oh, like move around it. Okay.
Yeah, you can move it around and stuff. The first thing to read is that Majors will stand trial November 29 on misdemeanor charges. Blah, blah, blah. Judge Michael Gaffey rejected without comment a dismissal motion by Majors' defense lawyers who argued that the case lacked sufficient evidence and was not moving forward quickly enough. So he rejected it without comment. That's fine. You don't got to comment. Just reject. Okay. I do want you to comment, Michael Jaffe, because you're a new judge. It used to be Rachel Pauly. It switched to Michael Gaffey. Then it was Rachel Pauly again. It's Michael again. And this guy said that it was only 71 days have passed, even though it's way over 90. But that's when he started the clock. So this guy over here, Michael Jaffe, comments on why or why not this will be a private matter. Like, we need to know that, because K-Dot, wouldn't you agree that this is a high-profile case? They definitely need to keep things hush-hush. Like, he's a celebrity. You don't want to, you need to sequester the jury. You need to try everything to make sure that there's no media there, that just let the case and the facts dictate the facts, because
I think Jonathan, for the most part, stayed quiet about it. To be fair, lawyers, they will do that stuff to try and prove their guy's innocence, make sure he's good in the public. Like, yo, we got this piece of evidence right here. It's not exactly Jonathan telling them put it out there, because like when we saw the TMZ situation, right, with the kids, even if they tried to pry information out of him, we didn't see them do so. They were just asking about things, but we know they probably asked about the case. They probably cut it out, but we know they for sure asked. And I guarantee you said, no comment. Okay. So he's doing his part in keeping quiet. He's not telling anybody what's really going on. But, as far as his lawyers and stuff, even though they have been showing way more evidence that has been benefiting him, there's a part where, like, yeah, they kind of should have just waited with this information. But then it's like, all this does is help solidify most of our side where we're like, okay, yeah, it's leaning toward Jonathan. Now, we know the DA is still trying to gather evidence. Why this been getting pushed back so much?
Yeah.
If they had any strong evidence, this would have went to trial sooner.
Mm-hmm. So, and why can't they see that? Why can't the people like who was in my comments, CJ's just earlier, why couldn't he see that?
Because if you have damning evidence, guys, it shouldn't take this long to go to trial, right? It shouldn't take this long. If you caught me on a camera with a knife in a mask like Michael Myers going to go do some stuff, and it's me, let's not take off the mask and I just look at the camera like, yeah, I did it. That's evidence that can't be refuted. It's
no, you got to push that one back. We got to make sure it's really you on the camera.
Yeah, they're gonna go through all the nonsense stuff. I can go plead insanity and stuff, but at the end of the day, if the DA had evidence, they would have not asked for some extension constantly. Because at first, what we thought originally, like, oh, they said there's a video inside the vehicle. I'm not sure they're gonna.
No, they always said they had video proof, but no one's ever officially said that there's a camera inside the back seat of the car. No one ever said that. They always said that we have video.
Well, if I'm not sure if it was like Jonathan's private driver or some like Uber or whatever.
Yeah, it was a private driver.
More than likely, and it is New York, they're more than likely going to have those, especially most of them now. Not every single one, but most of them do. But like I said, if they saw the stuff inside the car of how it got instigated, then that should have been enough to help their case. But it's clear that's not. They need to go to all these other means. For example, teaming up with Rolling Stone to got all these people from his high school, his college days. Like, yeah, I saw Jonathan with this girl. Yeah, he was totally abusive. You're not even in a relationship. How do you know if it's abusive or not?
And
You're
it's
looking
got
from
nothing to
outside in.
do with March 25th. How does
Right,
that
has
help
nothing
at
to do
all?
with it.
Did this guy put hands on her or not? And that's the thing. You said something about being New York. Okay, this is what you said. So I'm looking at
Well,
the
there's an example of why I said that.
no, I'm not taking it that way because of New York. I mean,
Okay.
so like celebrities have services like this car ride service.
Mhm.
Now, but it's called Black Lane. Does Black Lane need a reputation with their clients that is, oh, yo, if you guys are ever in a situation, we are going to cooperate against you and provide evidence? No, they don't want that. Celebrities need to know that these services that they're paying hundreds of for, because that driver isn't his personal driver, it's like a third party.
Yeah.
They need to know that this third party is the type that when I'm in hot water legally, they don't run off to the DA and says, here's these things, here's these videos. Instead, they go, nope, but we are not obliged to share any information of a backseat video. So maybe we have to consider that because it's New York City, bro. It's LA, New York. These are going to be hotbeds for these celebs. That's what I was going to say.
Well,
But
yeah,
why did I cut you off when you were?
that's why I hope it is because this is just one example I'm using, and this is of someone that was compared to Jonathan was more high profile and in more dangerous situations due to his career, and that was 6ix9ine, right? In 2018, he basically got inside of a vehicle. I don't think it was his personal driver. It's probably something like Uber or something. And some people part of the gang he was a part of was trying to extort him for some money. So they went ahead and tried to come jack him and stuff. And this happened in a vehicle that, was able to record audio. They didn't show us video, but they had audio recordings of what was going on, which means, okay, there had to be a video camera inside of it. So, if that's just a regular driver driving around with a high profile rapper that's very dangerous to be around and
Yeah.
stuff. I imagine just for even regular celebrities, just in general, they're like, yeah, we need these drivers more than likely have cameras. So I think there is footage. Not saying they're going to show it, but I think the footage DA thinks they have is not as strong as they believe it is.
And
Because
that's the
let's say they
battle.
do have footage, but it may not be as strong because we is even theorizing. Okay, if Jonathan hit her first, we already know he's already in trouble because with the way self-defense works in America, if you hit somebody first, you're the aggressor. Even if you're not really being that aggressive, just if you hit somebody first, you're immediately the aggressor. But if we see that she hit him first and Jonathan did something like, oh, he had to kind of like push her off, but he's not really punching her or nothing. He's like kind of pushing her, right? Then that's like, okay, he's clearly trying to defend himself. But if he was going like, pow, 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 like Chris Brown and stuff, okay, that's a totally different story. But
8 trigrams, 64 palms.
Yeah, there's so many ways they can possibly twist it, because hopefully Jonathan didn't, hit first. Hopefully, I don't believe he did, but
Bro, it was over a phone. Megan Good was texting. So the entire article is a long one now that I look at it,
okay,
and I don't think I'm going to
wait.
provide fair coverage to this entire article. What is it?
Let me ask something about Megan Good and Jonathan. So it's a theory going around that they got married, right?
Yeah.
Now, how long do you think they really been talking? And how long was him and that Grace girl like really a thing? Because let's be honest, I think she believed that they was a thing, but for him to hit it off this quick with Megan, meaning they had to have been talking for a while.
She wasn't that serious though. Look, she had his credit card, right? Let's not forget that she ran it up and she was going at Lucy's nightclub. So he offered her things as if they were together, but was he really invested in that relationship?
But that's the thing.
And that's low down. That's actually not a good look for him. But that's just the facts of the matter. Now, is that any criminal? No.
That's how most high profile dudes are anyway. But is, for example, even Drake does it, right? Drake hooks up.
What do you mean? Even Drake does it? Like he's so beyond this material. This
like they just be shelling out money to these random women, but it's like we're not committed. It's like I'm just kind of doing it to
committed. Nah, bro. She lived in his home. She had the keys. That's committed. Now, did he care? No, he didn't care. He was
I
being
wouldn't
loose.
say
I'm
that.
trying to protect Jonathan Majors for his infidelity. They were an item according to her, but he had no interest in it. He had his LA boo
But
thing,
see, but see, that's the
London.
thing. It clearly was never that deep because for him to like move on to making this quick, this is the thing.
Yeah, you're right.
He
I
was probably
agree.
just
No,
he was
no,
probably
Kata,
just
I'm
thinking,
with you. I agree that he was not interested in Stephanie. He
right.
was more into Megan and other things. But Stephanie was just a time filler,
But
someone
Sean,
he met on set while he was filming in London, and he was like, I
but I'm
need
saying I think he already was with Megan anyways.
yes.
But okay, there's probably that weird phase where people dating where like they don't really claim each other yet, but they're dating. It was probably that they probably went on like 5 dates and still haven't claimed each other yet. And that Grace girl, he only knew her for like a couple months on set at best. I mean,
Okay.
it appears she fell in love.
Well, there's a picture of them at Toronto International Film Festival. That happens in September. I can say that it's been 6 months from September to March that they were an item. Read that.
Photoshop.
Soon as Megan gave him some play, it was raps for Shouty.
Mm-hmm.
Read
Well,
the
they had to have already been talking. They didn't just randomly start talking that soon. Him and Megan talked for a while.
So, his lawyer Priya Chaudhary continued to press his case after the decision, filing another motion, this time under seal. She said the new motion involves bombshell information that, if made public, could blow up Major's chance of a fair trial. This is extremely sensitive information, she said, of her new motion's comments. We believe that the disclosure will jeopardize Mr. Major's right to a fair trial in this case. That's what the Seth Zuckerman told the judge. But Majors has said through his attorneys that he will fight the charges. I want to hear what the judge said about that, though. The judge doesn't say anything about whether we can keep things private and we can like that. This new motion, which all the motions have been dismissed, by the way, from the defense's side. But
Nah,
if this is extreme, if it's
Judge
extreme,
didn't go deeper into it. He just pushed it to trial. He didn't go deeper into the evidence being leaked out there to the public.
all right. I don't care. I do care. Whatever this information is that's going to affect the public and is going to change things forever. If it really is that powerful, then yes, keep it under wraps.
I doubt it's nothing, but
I know it's nothing because she's perfectly fine without a broken finger, without a lacerated ear, without any mentioning pain. I know she's fine. I know that. But whatever they dig back into the 2022 and try to find, going back to those college days, that doesn't help anyone. And that is very unfair, everyone. Put yourself in that shoes.
Wait,
it's over an inch.
Was that 2022 footage? Because Grace is being she has to turn herself in now.
Stephanie already turned herself in.
Is that 2022 stuff connected to her for her?
Yeah.
For arrest, or was it for something Jonathan did in 2022?
We don't know exactly what it is. We just know that the London police are cooperating because something happened September 2022, and we don't have no idea what's inside there. And what does that have anything to do with the case today? Nothing. Anything you want to say to close out on?
Look, Grace, it's not looking so good for you. Even if there is evidence that it's just like the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez case. Like we looked at it at a surface level. A lot of us did, and when we saw like more evidence come out, like audio recordings of Tory saying stuff, it's like, oh dang, dude, you're kind of telling on yourself. Oh, okay. This is the problem with Grace. Even if
she's saying that name, her name is Stephanie. Okay,
her name's Stephanie.
Legit is
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
2 names.
Yeah, we go by Stephanie here.
All right, Stephanie. Stephanie with 2 names. Get it right. This is her problem. She got 2 names already. It's a problem.
Exactly.
Even if she may be right, and this is my issue sometimes with people when it comes to this whole legal stuff, and just in general, when you're trying to spread your truth or your side. She recanted her statement. If you want me to be on your side about something, and you can't do your part by sticking to what your story is, the truth, and you're recanting and backtracking, how am I supposed to ride for you or be on your side about something, and you're making the supporters of you and yourself look bad? Yeah. Even if you're right, and there could be many reasons. She could be in fear or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but like
they'll go with.
But at the end of the day, if you're trying to seek justice, stop recanting your statement. It needs to be consistent. You need to, you know, and look, she's probably in a position where she wants everybody to be on her side. When in reality, everybody's not going to be on your side. Because after this, even if Jonathan is guilty or innocent or whatever, the people who thought he was innocent is still going to ride from. The people who thought he was guilty is still going to think he's guilty.
Honestly, yeah, you're right. Even like I don't care how guilty or everyone on the jury says he's guilty. I'm gonna look at it like no, there's no way that a broken fingered person and a lacerated ear and a twisted arm and all that goes to the club right afterwards. And there's no reason why the police should have arrested him because the police. I hope that body cam comes out. But if I don't see it, it's fine. But whatever.
Yeah, dude, just Michael Jackson, biggest prime example. I can't prove it, and Show can't prove it. Nobody can really prove it. The FBI tried to prove it, and they have failed. Nobody couldn't prove Michael Jackson's crimes he was accused of.
You're right.
Now, does that mean he didn't do it? Maybe Michael was just really good at hiding stuff. Maybe. But at this moment, he is innocent. And, it is just what it is. They tried their best they can, but he is innocent. But the people who thought he's guilty still think he's guilty. Cat Williams literally does when Cat Williams does his stand-up shows, he'll do some like digs at Michael about it because he legitimately thinks Michael did it. Now that's his opinion. It's at the moment it's wrong, but he believes he still did it.
At the moment, it's not proven.
It's just proven time and time again that he didn't do it. So that's just how it is. At the end of the day, regardless, Jonathan's not going to have everybody's support. People need to get that into their head. Whatever happens in a situation, you're not going to have the support of everybody 1%. If you got some people that ride for you, cool. Because it's better than having nobody not ride for you. At least you got some people that, believe you.
We got SSJK.Sanctum. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. If you're watching this, and I hope I planned everything right, you're about to get redirected to Onzo's stream, which is happening right now. And looks like he's on deadline. I saw earlier he was talking the Variety article. So enjoy him. Peace and vibe higher.